We begin tonight with breaking news out of Monroe. Police are working a reported shooting at a Motel 6. Hello, I'm Chris Brown.
Can we ask you some questions about why you gave a key to the city to Louis Farrakhan?
You doing okay today?
The nation will witness one of the real hallmarks of democracy, and that is a peaceful transfer of power. Mr. Mayor, if you would like to talk, you have our phone number, and our door is always open. Just this afternoon, we've seen the storm strengthen yet again. That's bad news for Louisiana. It's bad news for folks here in Lake Charles.
It's a real.
Well, that one's real. That one's real. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
In depth tonight, today's shooting is calling into question the state of American politics. Is it too hateful? Well, we begin tonight with breaking news. Arizona Senator John McCain diagnosed with a brain tumor. Dylan, we've been talking about this all week. It's here and getting pretty nasty out there.
Yeah.
Where the party has been going all day long. Nick, Jennifer says if you don't bring cake, you can't come back.
That's exactly right, Nick.
On Facebook, you have been talking too. Guy says Holmes was never qualified to be chief. Breaking news coming into the newsroom right now. Let's take a look at the map. Donald Trump projected to win North Carolina. 5 cars of a train derailed going off Louisville Ave just up the street from Hicks and BMW right here. It is important to note here, though controversial, Sons of Confederate Veterans is not a designated hate group. But the town of Clayton is still without water tonight, and that's where we begin. Hello, I'm Chris Brown. Yeah, workers have been working around the clock trying to get it back up and running. Gwendolyn Ducree is at that water plant now. Gwen, why is this taking so long? In depth tonight, every time a mass shooting happens, so many in Congress send their thoughts and prayers. But is Congress doing anything to stop these deadly events from happening? I posed that question to Senator Bill Cassidy today. He says Congress has done some things, pointing to a bill he co-sponsored that would have directed resources to people struggling with mental health issues. Cassidy says that it's clear the system failed in stopping the Texas shooter from having a weapon in the first place, and that should be addressed in some way. But the senator stopped short of saying Congress should take up expanded background checks. That bill was passed and folded into a part of the 21st Century Cures Act signed by President Obama, but it did not address gun violence specifically. In fact, an Obama-era rule that would have made 75,000 Americans ineligible to buy guns because of a diagnosed mental illness that left them on federal disability was scrapped by President Trump earlier this year. Meantime, tonight in Richland Parish, a Rayville High School student arrested after police say he brought a rifle, ammo, and a gun to school yesterday. Nick Pick talked to police and parents who are mad they didn't find out about any of this until today. Continuing coverage tonight, the man wanted for dogs found in deplorable conditions on his property has been arrested. The Adams County Sheriff's Department says Tommy Owens turned himself in. They say he owns the property where more than 50 pit bulls were found surrounded by fences, bugs, and even piles of bones. Investigators say some of the animals have scars consistent with dog fighting, while a few of the dogs they say are going to have to be euthanized. They hope they can do what they can to save the others. Across the state tonight, 2 workers were hurt after a fire broke out this morning on an oil production platform in the Gulf of Mexico. A Coast Guard spokeswoman says 46 workers were evacuated from a Shell International platform located about 185 miles southwest of New Orleans. The injured workers were flown to a hospital, while Shell says the platform was safely shut down. The company is investigating the cause of that fire. Plus, beating the train will tell you why police are on the lookout for folks who are trying to do just that. In Monroe, law enforcement says train accidents are a problem across northeast Louisiana, as a matter of fact, and now they're doing something about it. You see, most people can see the lights and hear the horn, yet police say people still risk their life trying to beat the train. So as a part of Operation Lifesaver, today Louisiana State Police and the Sheriff's Office in Ouachita Parish staked out area crossings, and they issued tickets to drivers who ignored the warning. State police say they hope it'll save lives and send a message. We have new Operation Lifesaver says if you're stuck on the tracks, you have to call the posted number at the crossing, and they will send help. All right, taking a live look outside. A little cloudy out in the tower cam this evening, and it's cool out there too. Tom tells us how long these cool temperatures will stick around right after this. Chief Meteorologist Tom Pearson joins us now. Let's look at the forecast. Tom, nice and cool out there today. A little cloudy though. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise fighting for his life tonight after a gunman opened fire on a baseball field. Hello, I'm Chris Brown. 4 people were shot, including Scalise. Now, the shootout ended when police took down the gunman outside of that baseball field you see right there. Kristen Holmes joins us live from Alexandria tonight with how the attack unfolded. Kristen, good evening.
President Trump and the First Lady are back.
Tonight, President Trump and the First Lady made a surprise visit to the hospital where Scalise is being treated, bringing 2 bouquets of white flowers. The hospital says he is still in critical condition tonight and will need more operations. Louisiana lawmakers are responding to the shooting that happened today. Congressman Ralph Abraham says he was just in disbelief, but that without Scalise there, the situation could have been much worse. You see, Capitol Police were at the practice field too, and only there because of Scalise's presence. They only travel with certain high-ranking members of Congress. Abraham says there's no logic or reason behind any of this. Now, Senator Bill Cassidy is also responding to the shooting tonight, condemning the attack. He called the shooter a terrorist who desired to destroy our democratic institutions. Cassidy offered his prayers to Scalise and the 4 others shot and called for unity. Senator John Kennedy is also responding to the shooting. He says Scalise is a good friend of his and that his prayers are with the congressman and his family, as well as the other people who were shot today. He called this attack un-Christian and un-American.
I don't want to believe.
And responses to Scalise's shooting are coming in from Baton Rouge tonight, too. Governor John Bel Edwards saying, quote, "This appears to be an outrageous, cowardly attack on one of our own." Steve Scalise is a friend, colleague, and fighter for the people of Louisiana. Attorney General Jeff Landry says, quote, "My thoughts and prayers are with Steve. He is an incredible public servant who not only serves our country in a leadership role in Congress, but also proudly represents the state of Louisiana."
Ask you to help us to be men and women of peace.
Scalise was a state representative and senator before being elected to Congress. Today, members of both chambers in Baton Rouge paused to say a prayer for their colleague. The Jefferson, Louisiana native was a member of the Louisiana House and Louisiana Senate from 1996 until 2008. And local responses are coming in here, too. In Ouachita Parish, all the way to Louisiana Capitol, local leaders say they're devastated by the act of violence, and they're pulling for the man they say is one of the nicest people in Washington. Former lawmaker Kay Katz says he's a humble man who loves people and serving the country. Senator Mike Walsworth is a close friend of Scalise, says he's devastated by this.
But he was
Ouachita Parish Police Jury President Scotty Robinson also spoke out about today's shooting, saying no public official should have to live in fear of being attacked. In depth tonight, today's shooting is calling into question the state of American politics. Is it too hateful? We talked with political and religious leaders to get to the bottom of that question. Nick Pick joins us live from Whites Ferry Church Road in West Monroe with what they had to say. Nick, good evening to you.
Chris, good evening. Well, religious leaders taking Wednesday's service.
All right, Nick Pick live for us tonight. Nick, thank you. Many people expressing themselves on social media, and they're talking about the current state of politics, too, and if they've become too hateful. Here's some what you had to say on Facebook tonight. Matthew says politics has always been bad, but is getting worse with every election. It's become more about who's got the most campaign money and who can slander the other better, and true or not, make the public believe what they're hearing. Audrey says they have become disrespectful and hateful. They're supposed to work together to help America, not fighting over stupid stuff that could have been handled differently. In our web poll question tonight, we did ask, do you feel politics has become too hateful? 97% of you say yes. There's something to that. If you would like to tell us what you think, you could on our Facebook page and on our website. That's KNOE.com. The charity game the lawmakers were practicing for will still happen tomorrow. The lawmakers will be wearing purple and gold to honor Steve Scalise as they take the field. It's a sign of unity in what has become a very divisive and dark day in American history. Still to come tonight, budget compromise. Lawmakers in Louisiana, the House there, have finally passed a budget. We'll tell you what will be funded. Plus, the Caldwell community comes together. For 9-year-old Ben Perot, we'll show you how. And taking a live look outside tonight, Sam has got your Doppler 8 live forecast right after this. All right, in political news tonight, the Louisiana House narrowly passing a $28 billion operating budget. The budget will use every dollar of the state's expected income. The move is a blow to House Republican leaders who wanted to hold off on spending $100 million of those dollars in case the predictions they feel are too optimistic. The budget compromise will fully fund higher education for the first time in a decade. It'll fully fund TOPS, and it'll honor our state's commitment to veterans. Governor Edwards says this budget will still impose cuts across state government, but in a responsible way that doesn't negatively impact the most vulnerable in our state. In Crime Watch tonight, a former Neville High School teacher pleads guilty in court. Christian Amos is convicted of having inappropriate relations with students. He pled out in exchange for his testimony. Amos pled guilty to 1 count of distribution of marijuana, 3 counts of prohibited acts between an educator and a student, and 2 counts of attempting to have relations with students. In exchange for his plea, Amos will serve as a witness in cases involving teacher misconduct within the Monroe City School District. And 3 Ouachita Parish men are accused of a home invasion in Richland Parish. Rayville police say Nicholas Epentine, Javon Melton were arrested for aggravated burglary and attempted second-degree murder. Meantime, police are still looking for Decarius Moss. Police say the invasion happened May 29th when an unidentified female called Moss to pick her up from the Rayville home. Police say when the 3 men arrived, they entered the house and shots were fired.
Anytime you fire.
2 men were home during that shooting. Police say this investigation is still continuing. More arrests are possible here. All right, in Caldwell Parish, it has been almost 37 years since the kidnapping and murder of 9-year-old Ben Perot. Folks there remember it as one of the darkest times in Caldwell Parish, but Alan Donald shows us how they're ensuring the boy's memory lives on in a better way.
What's it going to mean?
Now, the rest of the money for the sign that was raised will go to building a new fence for the baseball park. All right, still to come tonight, Sam has got your Doppler 8 live forecast as we take a live look outside at a beautiful, if not a little warm night in the Twin Cities. Meteorologist Sam Lucy joins us now with a look at the forecast. It's warm in the studio tonight. You guys should know that yesterday during our 5:30 show, I called her Sham, and then it's now devolved into Sham Wow, so that's what we're going to go with. And I hope you can wow us with a stellar forecast, Sam.
I'll try my best. So maybe not as humid getting into next week.
2 thumbs up for that. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially if you have to spend a lot of time outdoors, right, Aaron?
That's right. Plenty of baseball to talk about. Saw the foot make a cameo appearance
I was
in there.
really impressed by that. Wow, your skills are incredible. We'll get you a t-shirt next. Thanks, Aaron. We're right back after this. So a 69-year-old woman breaking barriers and winning medals. Liz Sharpstream as a kid was always to go to the Olympics. She was in college and qualified for the Olympic trials, actually. The day before she was supposed to compete, though, she slipped and fell, and she hurt herself so bad she couldn't compete. So 40 years later, 6 months of training later, she's finally achieved the dream, and she has the medals to prove it.
I hope that.
So she got the gold in shot put, the silver in javelin, and the bronze in discus in the National Senior Games. Her new dream now, breaking 2 American records. I don't know about you guys, but I think she could probably do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Your powerlifting dreams, they still can happen.
That's right. That's
Work
right.
on them.
I will.
So you're
I will.
saying there's a chance.
There's always tomorrow, I suppose. All right, Sam, one last look at that forecast.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a beautiful rest.
Yeah, around here they pretty much do. All right,
Yeah.
Sam, thank you so much. That's all our time for now. Good Morning Arklin starts at 5 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow.
Your news continues 24 hours a day at KNOE.com.